And to the Eastern Conference All-Stars, you scored the most points. Well, congratulations.
Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss this NBA All-Star game. You know, I've been to many NBA All-Star games. I've watched many NBA All-Star games. I went to the All-Star game, and the first one I went to was in Oakland. I went to 2 All-Star games in LA. I went to the All-Star game in Phoenix. I went to the All-Star game in Las Vegas, Houston, Denver. I've seen and been a part of the NBA All-Star weekend and kind of know what happens, and a good one from a bad one. And this weekend, this NBA All-Star weekend was the worst ever. It was the worst NBA All-Star weekend I've seen or watched, period. It was just gut-wrenching watching this bullshit. Now, the bullshit started on Friday night when they had the Celebrity All-Star game. Half those celebrities, I didn't even know who they were. And it was just about Micah Parsons being a ball hog and just keep shooting the ball, just running over people, just being a jackass ball hog, trying to prove something to someone. I don't know. He shouldn't even been out there playing. Big dude out there running over little girls and stuff. They need to, get a couple more NFL players out there. I would love to see Max Crosby out there playing, and then get some more WNBA players out there playing. That would have been good. Balance it out, but don't have little Jennifer Hudson out there trying to play basketball and these big goons like Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys running people over, bullying people, and have a bunch of flagrant foul. He's out there hacking people. Just typical Dallas Cowboy bullshit. and then Saturday night was bullshit. You had the skills competition, throwing these balls through these hoops or whatever they was doing out there. But I'm looking at some of these passes they were throwing. It's like, what? These are not fundamentally sound passes that you guys are throwing. Just bullshit ass passes. Now, the three-point competition was pretty good. Dame Lillard won it again. Dame Dollar from Oakland won it again. Back-to-back three-point champion. That was a good thing. I like that. I enjoyed that. Also, the Sabrina against Steph thing. That was very interesting. Steph didn't have to do that. He put a lot on the line. Imagine if Steph would have lost that. So if Steph loses that, is he still the greatest shooter of all time? Now, Sabrina Ionescu, I've been watching her for a long time. I've seen a lot of her when she's in high school. So I'm very, very familiar with her. I know she can shoot that ball. It was just great to see those two out there having fun and competing. And I'm glad Steph won, but it would have been kind of cool if Sabrina won. But if Sabrina wins, is Steph still the greatest shooter of all time? And they're talking about doing something like this again next year. I guess this will be the great event, the biggest event of All-Star Weekend. Maybe you could have Steph and Sabrina come back, and then maybe you could get Damian Lillard against WNBA player. I know some people saying girl Caitlin Collins.
Come again?
So the girl from Iowa, she's a great shooter. Having her do it, I guess, but she's not even. Let's see if she even goes to the WNBA. Let's see what happens. But find another great female shooter out there and go at it, and let's see what happens. Then there was a dunk contest. Dunk contest. I mean, Matt McClung, he saved the dunk contest last year. And then there's this dunk contest that took place on All-Star Saturday night. Matt McClung, the defending champion, came back to recapture his champion. And I mean, it was just Obi Toppin's brother. He did a couple nice dunks. I was like, wow. He did pretty good, but he's a G League basketball player. He's not even in the NBA. Matt McClung, who won it, he's not even in the NBA. It was great to see Jaylen Brown out there doing the All-Star Slam Dunk Contest. But Jaylen, them dunks was weak. He had one, I don't know if he was doing the D Brown dunk, no look, or I don't know if he's like doing the old dap thing, you know? What was it? Was it the dap or was it the D Brown? I don't know. He had a D Brown jersey on, but that shit was weak. His ass brought out a Michael Jackson glove, put it on his left hand, and did a left-handed dunk. A left-handed dunk in the dunk contest. And you like went and said, you know what? I'm gonna do that left-handed dunk. I'm gonna kill him with that. Yeah. Then he did another dunk. Was it the same dunk? I don't know. Then he did another dunk where he jumped over this little short dude sitting in a chair. And Jason Tatum was out there with a mink coat on and throwing the ball. You know damn well Jason Tatum can't pass the ball. But Jason Tatum passed the ball and this little dude sitting in the chair, he jumps over him. I'm like, man, this is some weak ass shit. This is garbage. Garbage. I spent my Saturday night on that. And All-Star Weekend, I always look forward to it. Always look forward to it. It's just tradition. But I don't know, I might have to break that tradition. But then the damn game on Sunday. That game was garbage. That game was like a fucking layup line. Just, hey, let's do a layup dunk line. Just have everybody line up, have the East line up this basket, West line up at that basket, and just fucking shoot jumpers and dunk. It was just garbage. The NBA should be ashamed of themselves for doing this shit. But not really the NBA. The players should be ashamed of themselves for doing this bullshit.
Yeah, Luka is terrible. Luka is really bad for this game. He's worse than me, 100%.
I mean, Luka, what the fuck was Luka doing out there? He looked just stupid. It's a fucking joke. And Anthony Edwards, he even said, hey, we just out here to have a break. We're on break. And I know the thing is, oh, you might get hurt. Well, Kobe wasn't thinking about getting hurt. All the All-Star games I've seen in the past, nobody was worried about getting hurt. Get out there and play. They play harder at the fucking Drew League than this bullshit that we witness. They play harder at fucking UCLA. UCLA runs are harder than this bullshit. I mean, this was just garbage. They need, I mean, stop.
Everybody just get out of the way. So I don't know how to fix that. But I just follow the lead.
If you don't want to play in the All-Star game, then say, hey, I don't want to play in the All-Star game, and don't fucking show up. But what they ought to do, they ought to just say, okay, to make this game interesting, we're going to have Draymond Green on one team and Pat Bev on the other. And if you out there bullshitting, you know what's going to happen. And then we have a situation where, okay, we're not going to call fouls for 3 minutes. Let's see what happens then. Let Draymond and Pat Bev do whatever they want to do. Turn up the intensity. If you don't want to play in it, then don't show up. Don't come to the thing at all. Keep your dead ass home. They've taken this shit to a new low. Once you think you hit rock bottom, they dig a hole and you go down even lower. This shit is horrible. It's just they scored 200 points. How do you score 200 points? It's terrible. It's rotten. It's nasty. It stinks. NBA, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm telling you now, those All-Star tickets, they not cheap. To go to the All-Star game, you got to know somebody and you better bring some money. For any event that happens during the All-Star weekend, it's going to cost you. You ain't going to just come in and, $20, $30 ticket. Hell no. And you can pay that big money and still don't get in. So you got to know somebody and be willing to pay. And those tickets are not cheap at all. I remember the All-Star game in Phoenix. I was at that All-Star game. Very good seats. And they were not cheap. And the seats I had, I was sitting like in the lower bowl area. And I was getting up to go to my seat. Well, actually, I was getting up to go get something to eat. And then the guy that was like right behind me, he was getting up too. So I'm walking. And then I stopped. I'm like, oh, which way do I go? And the guy behind me, he walks in front of me. And next thing I know, all these kids are yelling, Akon, 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 Akon. I'm like, what the fuck's Akon? And I asked the kid, I'm like, what's Akon? And it turned out to be, it was a singer, Akon. I mean, I didn't know him. I didn't pay him any attention. All I know, the guy was sitting down 3 or 4 seats down from me. So when you're sitting in a lower bowl area, there's no telling who you're gonna be sitting next to. Because I remember I'm seeing all the different old time NBA players sitting around, but going to those NBA All-Star games is not cheap. And to go out there and be bullshitting around for the whole game while the whole world is watching, this is like your Super Bowl. I used to look forward to the NBA All-Star game like the Super Bowl. Now, what is this bunch of bullshit? And you know what makes it worse? This is what makes it just gut-wrenching. This is why the whole situation stinks and something needs to be done. The NBA All-Star MVP, they named it the Kobe Bryant. It's named after Kobe Bryant. We know what Kobe Bryant would do in an All-Star game. I remember he was picking up LeBron full court, giving LeBron the business. Kobe was not bullshitting in the All-Star game. And now you name a trophy after Kobe Bryant and you get out there and you fucking bullshit. It's a fucking joke to you. Don't play. Don't show up. Get somebody else. They ought to say, all right, we're just gonna keep going down the list. Okay, Luka, you don't wanna fucking play? Let's get somebody else. We gonna go down the line. There's a whole lot of other people that should have been on the All-Star team that weren't. And I'm hoping that they will play. So they ought to go by your performance on what you did last year in the All-Star game. Luka, you're banned from the All-Star game for 3 fucking years. Anthony Edwards, you're banned for 10 fucking years out there, that bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you know basketball, you understand why it's not competitive. Like, we come from playing 50 games and everybody else is on a break, and we come here and, be here 3-4 days, and they want us to compete at a high level, which we got to go and continue to do that right after this. So I don't think nobody should expect us to compete at a high level in the All-Star game.
I think the All-Star game in general needs a little revamping because it used to be competitive.
Yeah.
It used to be competitive, and fans want to see the best pickup game in the world. That's what this is. They don't want to see you running up and down and dunking and doing all this crazy. They want to see what happens when you get this collection of best basketball players on the planet, and they play and they go head up against each other.
Man.
I mean, you guys play harder at a pickup game in UCLA.
Anthony Edwards, 10 years. 10 years, buddy. That was straight bullshit. You cannot be an all-star for 10 years. You can maybe go all-pro, all that, but don't come to the all-star. You can't even come to the all-star city. You're banned from the city for that bullshit that you did. So that needs to happen. This shit needs to be taken serious. People paying hard-earned money to go to this shit. People spending their valuable time watching this shit. I wasted my time watching this bullshit. So the last All-Star game that they had that they halfway took serious, I want to say, when was that? That was 2020 when Kobe passed away. That game was actually a good game. Ever since then, it's been straight bullshit. Larry Bird was pleading to him, hey guys, take this game serious.
The one thing I would really like to see is they play hard tonight in this All-Star game. I think it's very important when you have the best players in the world together. You got to compete, and you got to play hard, and you got to show the fans how good they really are.
If you're gonna go out there, then take it seriously. If you're not gonna take it seriously, then don't fucking come to the game.